Hello, agents. This is Hannibal. We're continuing the trip down what other content creators aren't telling you road. A lot of you seem to be really interested in this series, so I'm going to keep going with it. And today's topic, I think, is a fun one. But let's get the program plugs out of the way. Ubisoft has given Hannibal a sock in their content creators program. Hannibal is now a free agent. I have partnered with Ubisoft to produce this content, and thanks to Ubisoft for providing me with the access to this game and content. Look, man, I'm trying to come up with different entertaining ways of saying those two lines, so cut me some slack, okay? Anyway, let's do it! Most Division 2 creators focus on builds, meta or otherwise, DPS numbers, how to beat legendary missions, exotic weapons, or PvP showdowns. But there's a blind spot in that content, and it's a big one. A lot of Division 2 content out there focuses on flashy stuff, builds, damage stats, boss takedowns. But they're skipping over something fundamental, something that shapes how you experience the entire game. Exploration. Today we're going to unpack and break down why exploration in the Division 2 is more rewarding than most people realize, why it's one of the most overlooked mechanics in the game, and why it could change how you approach the game entirely. The game world is built to be explored, and it's designed to reward the curious. Washington, D.C., New York, Brooklyn, they aren't just backdrops. They're not just mission hubs. They're intricate, layered playground environments filled with small-scale narratives, hidden SHD tech caches, side missions, and resource nodes tucked away in corners most players sprint past. Behind every alley, rooftop, sewer entrance, or abandoned storefront, there's a story waiting to be discovered. The game rewards players who take detours. You get extra loot crates, rare SHD tech, echoes, side missions, materials, your telephones. Rushing from objective to objective means missing half the game. When you slow down and take the time to check those rooftops, basements, or alleys, you're not only leveling up faster, you're accumulating better gear, more credits, and sometimes rare keys or collectibles that other players overlook. SHD caches are more than just skill points, and they teach you the map. Shade Tech isn't just for upgrading your watch. It's your gateway to mastering the city. Tracking these caches forces you to traverse unfamiliar zones, scout enemy activity, and learn the fastest, safest ways through each neighborhood. In doing so, you naturally build spatial awareness, tactical positioning, and map fluency that meta-focused players seem to lack. You also need Shade Tech to upgrade your core stats, weapon handling, armor, skill damage, but those caches also lead you to parts of the map you'd probably never visit otherwise. The act of hunting them down improves your map awareness, teaches you how to move through hostile areas more tactically, and often leads you into spontaneous combat encounters that sharpen your reflexes. They're scattered about and hidden for a reason. I think that's what a lot of players seem to not understand. Especially like in Brooklyn, most of them are underground. There's a reason why. Now sure, once you collect them, you may never visit them again, but if you look, there's a shit ton of resources you can farm. Collecting these helps you with your watch levels, because you could pump those resources into your recalibration, you could even pump them into your expertise, and each one adds up. If you collected a penny a day, you got $1. And then you have the crafting and resource farming, which actually feels organic. If you want crafting materials, you don't need to farm the same control point over and over again. Just pick a zone and roam. You'll find food, water, components, which you'll need for the weekly SHD trade-in. Electronics, steel, polyfiber, all the resource materials you could find. And by staying on foot, you could sweep an entire zone and gather up that food, water, and components and trigger organic encounters along the way. Then those random events and elite encounters feel more dynamic instead of grinding. It's also more immersive and still efficient, especially if your clan controls the zone. Exploration is the most reliable way to farm those materials for recalibration and crafting. Plus, look, I did a video way back when, and I probably should redo it just to make it a little bit more streamlined and a little bit more in line with the current format that I've pretty much adopted. Sorry, my first half dozen videos were a bit rough because I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I did what was called a grocery run. Now, this grocery run is so much easier and less time consuming if all 4 control points in the East Mall are controlled by JTF. There's less nonsense you've got to deal with. And there is literally a crap ton of caches, cases, boxes, all sorts of stuff to loot, all on the ground. And this goes all the way to the Capitol building. And if you control that zone, and you farm that zone once a day, if you've got all 4 control points, it'll take you 30 minutes. If you don't control all those control points, it could take you 90 minutes. Just giving you the expectation and the realization until you get into the groove of it. You do it once a day or once a week, all of a sudden you're like, hey, wait a minute, I have 9,999 electronics and I don't know how I got them. It's because you farmed that area. Yes, you can farm other sections of New York, DC, and now Brooklyn, but this is a straight shot from the Metro ruins all the way to the crash site. It takes you 30 minutes. It is the most efficient way. It's the quickest way. And I found this just by exploring East Mall. Way back. The game rewards you for playing like a scout. And secrets are literally everywhere. Audio logs, hidden stashes, the hotels, named enemies, off-mission story clues. They're scattered all over DC and New York and now Brooklyn. You just have to look. Exploring teaches you where control points tend to cluster. Not so much the control points, but the patrols. What factions control what blocks, and where choke points exist. It's not just for lore hunters, it's strategic intel. These hidden audio logs, lore entries, and mission breadcrumbs only appear if you poke around. Some of you have already told me in the comments in previous videos that you're all about the lore, the story. These puzzle pieces aren't just solely for story or lore. Sometimes they reveal faction patterns and upcoming events. And if you're playing solo, scouting the map first lets you plan better flanking routes, escape options, or ambush points. Exploration builds map memory and situational awareness as well. It also makes you a smarter player. Every run with a random or a clan member, and they always seem to be in the right place at the right time. When you stop relying on fast travel and start navigating on foot, your brain starts building a mental overlay of the map. Suddenly you know how to flank an elite patrol. You remember which rooftops overlook key intersections. You know which buildings connect to underground tunnels. That's not just cool, it's combat leverage. The more time you spend on foot, the more familiar with the map you become. That means you'll start recognizing spawn points, flank routes, and ambush locations intuitively, giving you a massive edge in control point fights, elite patrols, or even dark zone standoffs. So here's the truth. Exploration isn't just filler content. It's the glue that holds your build, your tactics, and your experiences together. It's how you stop playing like a tourist and start operating like a local. Fast travel is fine. It's quick and efficient, and I use it all the time. And it's perfect when you're figuring out the map. So the next time you boot up the Division 2, instead of rushing to your next mission, take the long way. climb that fire escape, open the garage door, check that alley. Because what other content creators aren't telling you is this: exploration isn't a waste of time. It's the best investment you can make. And if this video helped reframe how you think about the game, consider subscribing or sharing this with someone who always fast travels past the good stuff. We're over 800 subscribers. Goal is 1,000. So thank you very much for those who have subscribed. And you know the plugs. Always with a big fat please. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you're on PC, PlayStation, or Xbox, consider joining our clan and chapters. X and Discord details in the channel tab. I do have a Twitch channel. I seriously considered live streaming the Battle for Brooklyn when it launched, but I had scheduling concerns, launch concerns, and wasn't sure if I could cover the necessary time without a ton of interruptions, which wasn't fair to you. However, once this channel reaches the threshold I'm aiming for, Twitch will go live. I'll even have drops when Ubisoft makes them available. But until the next time, this is Hannibal, signing off.